there, ritual artists. Today I want to talk to you about energy and using energy when we are prefixing a ritual. I'm speaking from my own experience, primarily in the reclaiming tradition, and also as someone who did a lot of theater work back in the day. Now, there's a lot of variation in how people see ecstatic ritual within the reclaiming tradition. And I've had many a conversation about what is ritual and what is performance, what is the difference. And I would say that's highly individualized, but I think that all types of performance have an energetic aspect. In theater, we talk a lot about actors having presence, and in my opinion, that can be about them being charismatic, but also it's really about their energy and how they use it, their intensity, or their ability to shift through different types of energies and really become not just physically but energetically the thing or the character that they're trying to portray. So I think that, actors can sometimes be more witches than they even know. But definitely in a reclaiming context, energy is a tool that is our birthright and can be sometimes overlooked because it's not as overt as like our voice or our body. And so let's talk about all the ways that we can use this primary tool that's in our toolkit. One is just being mindful, I think, of our energy and using it. For me, it's very important when I'm stepping into a ritual role, regardless of what that role is. It's really important for me to ground, even if I've grounded with the group earlier. Even if I am holding an energy of something that is ungrounded, it's helpful for me to ground first so I can be fully present, fully in my body. And it's really important that I breathe. Physiologically, the body, when we are nervous or excited or preparing for something, our tendency is to have trouble breathing or to breathe more rapidly or more shallowly. And we really want access to that full breath, that deep, deep breath, that in the belly breath. So just always remember, ground and breathe. A grounding can be quick, activist, grounding, 3-breath grounding. It doesn't have to take long. But ground and breathe before you step in. Also, energetically, take the time or make the time to transform. For me, that can be filling my energetic bodies, my auric egg, if you use that terminology or that imagery, or that magic. I can fill that with an energy that I think will be helpful. That can be something as simple as I'm doing the welcoming and opening, or the welcome and intention, and I want my energy to be open and friendly and receptive. I want, fill my auric egg with good hospitality. Or it can be that I'm invoking water. And so energetically, I want to fill my auric egg with the energy of water. Of course, always being careful, just making sure I can still function, and as water, holding that energy, I can still speak. If you don't use an auric egg, or you don't use your energy bodies, if that's not terminology you work with, make a bubble. Glenda the Good Witch, make a bubble around you, change its color, change its texture, its temperature, its feeling. Fill it with an emotion, fill it with protection or shielding maybe. Of course, if you're aspecting or oracling or in some way allowing an energy to speak through you, if you're holding it, that's kind of a whole nother level of using energy in ritual artistry. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of aspecting in this particular session. But again, all of this is being mindful of the energies that we're working with, not just being in our head and making sure that we have done homework so that we know what this being historically, what their story is, but let's really use energy to make those connections and to have that extra authenticity when we step in, that depth of being. It's not just in our head, it's not just on our exterior or the way we're holding our body or a voice that we're making, but it's literally in our very breathing, in our very being, in our energetic being. Sometimes that time to transform has to happen before the ritual. Sometimes it can happen in the circle, and that can be really powerful for people to get to see you step in and take a breath and become, by filling your auric body or a bubble, becoming more watery, more welcoming, more whatever that energy is. Yeah, so don't be afraid to do that. I think in my time in theater, what I found was that, or what I believe, is that the human being is fascinated by authenticity and seeing real people in their real life, their struggles, their successes, and letting people see you take that time and have that process is very intimate. And I think when people are intimate and vulnerable like that, it feels like a gift. So I don't think that bores people. So feel free to try that sometimes if the shape of the ritual allows that. And then, of course, there's a responsibility to, sometimes, depending on the ritual role, there's a responsibility to do the energetic working of the role. So an invocation, for example, which is actually language that I'm personally looking at and thinking about changing for myself. What might be called an invocation or a welcoming. Not only am I going to say, air, please be with us, bring to us, if you will, your gifts of blah, blah, blah. Air is sacred. I'm also on an energetic level going to be doing that working. So it's not just my words. Energetically, I am rolling out my arms or rolling out a red carpet or opening a portal or door. Well, be careful opening portals. That's a whole nother story. But whatever you do to welcome energetically, be doing that as your words or your body is saying welcome. Just remembering all those layers and always checking back in underneath what energetically is happening in the ritual. What energetically is happening with this role or this section of the ritual. And just fill that in for yourself. Don't just think about the exterior or what people can maybe see or hear. And then I guess the only other thing I want to say is, to me, it is, again, fascinating and a gift to see people who are just really in it. or maybe they're just having fun. You know, they're just allowing themselves to be fully present to whatever they're doing, whatever energy they're holding. You know, like, let's get out of our own way. And you know, if we need to send our critic out the front door while we're doing the role in ritual, if that's helpful, let's do that. Let's, you know, acknowledge, of course, the fear or the nervousness, and make space for that, and you know, recognize that all of that is us. But let's just also tap into the fullness of being, and less ego and more energetic magicians and witches and healers and energy workers. Let's have faith that that is real. If we're not a super sensitive energy worker, I'm not. I have 5 planets in Taurus. I'm earthy, earthy, earthy. Sometimes I think I can doubt myself around energy and how I'm working it in ritual, and am I working it? Am I doing something? If that's your experience, I'm going to invite you to act as if, you know, act as if you know what energetically invoking or welcoming an element is, and then just do that and trust it. So that, I think, is what I have to say about running energy, holding energy, working with energy when we're doing a role in a reclaiming ritual. And I hope you found some of it, or all of it even, helpful. Bye.